Lisa. This is Moonbeams Yoga, and this is number 2 out of 4 of this series for inversion prep and practice. If you haven't watched the previous video already, it gives you some really awesome tips from head to toe on little things that you can do to help your inversions and move them along faster. This video is going to be about headstand and some stuff that we can do to get you into headstand and get you there strongly and safely. So make your way down onto the mat. And I would just like to remind you, please do this when you're a little bit warmed up. I'm not doing a warm-up sequence right now. This is just prep that you can incorporate into your practice. So if you haven't already, do a little warm-up flow or follow along to one of my videos to get a little bit warmed up. Because definitely don't want to go into inversions with a spine that's not a little bit twisted, a little bit bendy and warm. So please make sure to warm up before you start this video, and then you'll have these tools to then incorporate into your practice. So let's get started with headstand. Turning to the side. Everyone's going to be teaching headstand a little bit differently, so I'm just going to teach you the way that makes sense to me. You could either do tripod headstand, which is having your hands up like this and head on the mat. Traditional is when you have your hands interlaced like this and behind your head. I'm going to do a little different style that has worked for me over the years. So with that clasp, I'm just going to bring your hands together. So now the palms of your hands are together. It's a little bit different. Usually people tell you cradle the head. I'm going to tell you bring the clasp together. So that when you bring your hands down and bring your the top of your head to your hands to where top of your head's resting on the mat, back of your head is resting in that little nook that you've created. And for our first prep, all you're gonna do is try and come up onto your toes. A little dolphin headstand and hang out right here and breathe. And you can stay there as long as you like, because getting acquainted with breathing in that inversion position with a little bit of weight on your head is step A. You need to have your breath become comfortable before you can then move on to rising up. And big thing that we're going to go through for the rest of the inversion series, in between each time you do a headstand, and it's more than just like a second, you could do a few in a row maybe if you weren't holding it for very long. We're going to do a child's pose or a forward fold in between, because nothing is going to jank up your neck faster than doing headstand after headstand, or, pincha, forearm stand after forearm, handstand after handstand. It's just a fast track to getting your spine compressed, and we want to keep everything yin, yang, flowing, moving, open. So right now, I just did that headstand, and I'm going to take child's pose for a few breaths. All right, coming into prep 2. So once you feel comfortable breathing, just in that little dolphin headstand inversion position, let's bring our hands back into the same way, clasp, palms together, head down, and walk your feet back up into that same position. And this time you're just gonna start by bringing one foot off the ground and then the other, and just go back and forth like this. Try to really be pushing with your elbows, so you're not putting all the weight in your head. I like this clasped hand position because you can push a little bit more even. Your head might even float like a millimeter off the mat, or at least it's really light pressure. So you can take as many of these as you want. That's really good. And then coming back down into our child's. Breathe. One, make sure that you're not shortchanging these child's poses, or you could do a forward fold if you choose to do so. We really want to release all the pressure in your neck so that you don't get injured and you can keep doing all these inversions sustainably for years to come. So the next prep that we're going to do for headstand, same position, moving back into it, lighten the head, pushing down through your forearms. Walk your feet up to the same pose. And this time, you have this one foot off. Just try lifting the other foot up and switch off. If this isn't accessible to you, go back to the first two preps and do those. And from here, if you're making it up this far, now you're going into practice because you're pretty much up. All you have to do is extend your legs. Bend to come back down. 1 foot, and then take that child's pose. Breathe it out. All right. I hope that this video is helpful, and if you can't get to step 3, that's totally okay. Just stay at step 1 and 2, because learning how to develop your strength and breathe calmly where you're not in a state of freaked out breathing when you're upside down is really step A, because no matter how good your handstand is and how much strength you have, if your breathing is erratic and it's signaling to your body that it's not okay, then you're gonna fall. So just remember, keep breathing steadily. Just start with 1, eventually move to 2, and then you can come all the way to 3. I hope that this video was really helpful to you guys. And I really like this palms clasped position. It's a little different than people usually teach it, because I've done it before where I was putting a lot of weight in my head, which I find happens with just this regular kind of clasped around your head position, and I have kind of messed my neck up that way from putting just too much weight on my head. So for me, I feel like in my body, I feel like having this clasp position, I can push away from the mat a little bit more, and it helps me to just lift some of the weight out of my head so that I can practice headstands and not get so much compression in my spine. So find what works for you and your body. Everyone's going to be a little bit different, and check out the next video for Pincha, where we do Pincha Mayurasana forearm stand and learn some prep practices for that one as well. Thank you so much, yogis. I can't wait to see you in the next video. Let me know what you think and any other questions that you have. All right, sending you love. Namaste.